All right, let's jump right into the world of Terry Ironwood's epic fantasy, Orphan's Quest. We're going to meet the hero at the very heart of the story, a boy whose life kicks off not with some grand prophecy, but with a curse.
So this is how it all begins. A death sentence for a newborn orphan named Chip. He was just left at the gates of the kingdom of Vanalon, and his only crime? Well, he was born with a feature that absolutely terrified the king. From his very first breath, Chip's life was almost over. He was marked by these mysterious red eyes that the kingdom saw not as unique, but as some kind of demonic omen. It's really just a classic case of prejudice, right? All born from fear of something different.
So right away, his fate is caught between these two totally opposing forces. On one side, you've got the shocking cruelty of King Barton, who just sees a monster. But on the other, there's the quiet but firm compassion of Queen Charlotte, who sees a child. Her stepping in saves his life, but, it comes with a price, a future of servitude.
And for a little while, he actually knew peace. He was raised by the head midwife, a woman named Auntie Claire, and Chip experienced love and acceptance. And then something amazing happens. His terrifying red eyes soften into this gentle forest green. But this little bit of peace, it was just the calm before a really terrible storm.
So when he turns 8, his life takes this dark, brutal turn. Just as the queen decreed, he's sent to work in the castle kitchens. And this place, it would become his own personal nightmare, and really the crucible where his resilience was going to be forged.
The kitchen mistress, a skeletal woman named Miss Stern, immediately strips him of his name and pretty much his entire identity along with it. For 2 whole years, he wasn't a boy. He was just it, a thing to be ordered around, overworked, and totally scorned.
Think about that. For 730 days, he puts up with endless torment and grueling labor on those cold stone floors. He gets gaunt and weak from starvation, scrubbing pots and emptying latrines from dawn till dusk. And as his body withered away, something else was building up inside him, this deep, suppressed rage.
Then one evening, after getting struck hard across the face, that suppressed rage, it finally just explodes. Something inside Chip snaps, and in his flash of fury, his eyes blaze a terrifying, bright red once again. But this doesn't get him help. Oh no. It gets him dragged before the king for judgment.
King Barton, now seeing proof of the demon he always suspected was there, sentences the boy to banishment, which, let's be real, is a death sentence. But just when all hope seems lost, 2 mysterious figures step out of the shadows.
The kingdom's resident wizard, Xander, and his imposing protector, Garth Stone, they step forward. Xander declares the boy is no demon, and instead of banishment, he suggests a different kind of punishment, handing him over to Garth for training harder than anyone in the kingdom has ever endured.
And Garth's training is just relentless. It's a crucible designed to break Chip down and rebuild him, not just physically but mentally. This single quote becomes his guiding principle, teaching him that, the greatest battles are often the ones you fight inside yourself.
These simple truths become the foundation of his whole new identity. Garth drills these concepts into him every single day, transforming a hopeless orphan into a disciplined and resilient young man. This is really the power of mentorship, isn't it? Giving someone the philosophy they need to turn all that pain into strength.
So, by 16, Chip is completely transformed. He's no longer that gaunt, terrified boy from the kitchens. He's strong, he's skilled, and now he has to face the ultimate rite of passage for every boy in Vanalon.
It's called the Manhood Quest, a solo journey to a sentry watchtower at the Pass of Death, the westernmost point of the kingdom. It's a dangerous trek for anyone, but Garth gives him this grim warning. There are whispers of new, darker creatures roaming the mountains.
And deep in the forest, Chip runs into a nightmare that matches this very description. He actually witnesses a demon that moves with terrifying speed and is strong enough to just effortlessly tear apart a massive fanged bear. Wow.
After surviving his first encounters with these monsters, fighting one on a bridge and barely escaping another, Chip finally reaches his destination, the watchtower at the Pass of Death. But when he gets there, the camp is just eerily silent. The watchtower, which is supposed to be this beacon of vigilance, is completely unguarded. There are no sounds of life, just a lonely howl of the wind and this profound sense of dread. Something is very, very wrong.
And inside the tower, It's a scene of pure carnage. The bodies of the guards have been torn to pieces. It's a total massacre. And Chip realizes that whatever killed that bear in the forest, it's been here too.
Clinging to life, a single soldier named Arpad gives Chip this terrifying warning. The creatures are demons, and they didn't come from the mountains. They came from beyond the magical barrier, a barrier that has held for 3,000 years and has now somehow failed.
With the dying man's warning ringing in his ears, light the fire, Chip realizes he is the kingdom's only hope. He spots this massive, unlit signal fire, his one and only chance to warn Vanalon of the coming onslaught.
But as he sprints towards it, a whole horde of demons burst from a nearby shed, screaming and racing to cut him off. In a desperate, final act, he just hurls his torch, only to see the flame flicker and apparently die in the wind. His heart just sinks. He raises his sword, ready to sell his life, just to buy humanity a few more moments.
But just as the demons are right on top of him, a popping sound erupts from behind. The signal fire roars to life, bathing the pass in this blazing light. The demons recoil, terrified of the flame. And in that fiery glow, Chip, the boy who was once called a demon, finds his calm and prepares for the fight of his life.